Shabbat Shalom, everybody, and you are welcome to the Shabbat of this morning. The Parashat we are going to talk about this morning is Parashat Lecha. Oh, sorry, Shelach, not Lecha. Shelach. Sorry. So that is the Parashat we are going to talk about this morning. And it means to send for yourself. Send for yourself. Shelach. So that's the Parashat that we are going to talk about this morning. And I subtitle it. And the subtitle sounds like this: whatever you say can be used for or against you in the court of law. Whatsoever you say can be used for or against you in the court of law. Remember, when the police, for example, come to arrest somebody, the first thing they will read to you is your right. They say you have the right to remain silent. And whatever you say shall be used against you in the court of law, right? That is your right. You have the right to remain silent, or you have the right to blah blah blah. But remember, if you blah blah blah, whatever you say now is recorded and it can be used against you in the court of law. But that is one side of it. That is one side of the coin. So coin has two sides. Remember, that is one side of the coin. But me, I'm now saying this morning the second side of the coin. And the second side of the coin is whatsoever you say can be used for or against you in the court of law. It can be used to support you, and it can be used against you. But the human being always say against. But in the court of law of the Holy One, blessed be He, it can be used for you or against you. So it's balanced in the court of law of the Holy One, blessed be He. Okay, one never knows how near or far a teaching can reach. Yesterday, I was chatting with a man who introduced himself only as Pastor Mike Saidi from the Messianic Betarel, Africa, specifically Tanzania. He said, he asked me to be his spiritual mentor. Which is not a bad thing, right? Because many rabbis or many spiritual leaders, they have 2 or 3 or 4 mentors. There is nothing, bad about that. It is just to enlarge your horizon in the spiritual field, right? There's nothing bad about that. When I asked him on his belief, that is where the issues began. I asked him, what is your belief? What do you understand? What do you know about the Torah? Then this man, this Pastor Mike Saidi from Messianic Betarel, begins to tell me about the Trinity, okay, and etc. So I asked him, please, did you check our statement of faith to go back to our website and check our statement of faith of Kehila Beta Israel? Because I was telling him, because the Torah is not a religion. Because you are telling me about religion now. The Torah is not a religion. The Torah is a faith. Torah is a guide to the truth. So maybe he has been listening to my messages online. Maybe I have been listening to my messages and so on and so forth, going to our YouTube page, listening to what we're saying, right? But I was thinking that this is what in his head, that he is trying to take a next step of faith. Because maybe he understands that he has been taught all of his life religion. Every time religion. But God is not talking about religion. God is talking about faith. You can never find anywhere in the Torah the religion of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. No. It is always written in the Torah, the faith of our father. I just give us an example here this morning. Abraham had faith in God, and God counted it as righteousness for him. The Torah never said, and Abraham has religion in God, and God counted that religion as righteousness. No, because religion, I always say, I truly believe what Karl Marx said. I truly believe that. Religion is the opium of the people, which is true. Religion is a man made to control his fellow man. That is religion. Is to say my religion supersede or dominate your own. That is it, to control man. But I am saying not about religion, but about the faith of the fathers. the faith of the Holy One. Abraham saw the light and he followed. God said, "You want to know the meaning of the light? I show you. Come, follow me." And Abraham believed. And he took everything, that is in Lecha. He took all his descendants, his wife, and all the soul that he has gotten, and he took them along that journey. They are not saying Abraham is mental. No. They believe and they follow. See, it's a faith of our fathers, not religion of our fathers. One of the challenges for someone working in the spiritual field requires patience in order to see the fruit of his labor. We can only try to sow the seeds and hope that people will be nurtured and eventually produce the fruit that we can see. Unfortunately, there is never a guarantee the person will develop the seed planted within them. Yet, even if those seeds doesn't take root for many years, they may eventually blossom sometime. But we may never know about it at all. For most teachers, most rabbeim, the pulpit rabbis, and others, like in our professional life, we will never see the fruit of our labor, because in some cases the effect is direct, one-on-one with each student. But at the other time, it might be the child or the grandchildren or the grandchild who might reap the benefit of the learning. What am I saying here is this, that it's somehow for many teachers, many rabbis who are the pulpit rabbi, like me, this teaching every Shabbat, sometimes it's difficult, it's hard. But we have the hope that the seed that we have planted, that God will rain, will put spiritual rain and make that seed to germinate. So it's step by step, it's step by step. Many people, sometimes they don't even see the fruit of their labor. Like Abraham understood. God said, "I'll make you what? I'll make you mighty, I'll make you a great nation." God didn't say, "I'll make you a great nation." He said nations, right? Abraham, did he see that? He didn't see that, right? But he believed and he trusted that. And now Abraham is in many nations, right? He believed that this what the Holy One said, what the Holy One has promised, is able to fulfill them one by one. Even though during his life he didn't see it, he knew that, oh, but this is my son Ishmael, this is my son Isaac, and other children that he has, right? And God, the Torah gave us, say, and his children are like the stars of the heaven. All of us here are of the children of Abraham. As far as we believe in the faith of Abraham Avinu, we are all his children. All of us. So you can see what the Torah is saying. Sometimes it's hard. Sometimes you might not see it, but that seed will surely comes to pass. Because most of, like we're saying yesterday night with Shelton during the Shabbat, our parents, they put some seed in us, the seed of faith. Sometimes the children, they grow up. Sometimes they veer out of the road. But the seed is there. Don't forget, that seed is there. Then later on, as they grow up, they begin to remember, oh, this is what my mama told me. This is what my papa told me. And they begin to come back to that road, to that path. Because remember, he said that the Torah also give us the understand that he said that the seed that has been planted, that people will surely come back. They will surely come back. No matter how they grow old, they will come back to that path. He said, put the feet of your child on the right path. When the child grow up, it will not depart from that path. It's always like that. We, all of us, me and you, we were all teenagers. We were teenagers once before. We were, yeah, mama, I know everything more than you, right? We say, Papa, I know everything more than you. There was a time like that. But as we grow more older, more experienced, we now see that, Mama and Papa were right. Then when Mama and Papa was telling me this and this, I didn't understand at that time. But now I can understand. When you begin to have your own children, you can begin to understand what Papa and Mama was trying to explain. We are all taught and trained from the time of our youth that the reward for mitzvot and good deeds are reserved for the world to come. It is with blind faith that we continue to persevere and fulfill the Torah with the conviction that we want the reward in this world and in the world to come. Remember, as I said, that we have been trained, especially all of us that are trained from a Jewish home, right? From a Hebrew home. We always say that keep the mitzvot, continue the commandment, keep the commandment, act upon them. Do not just say it, do the action, because the reward is in the world to come. Right? God will give you the reward. But I am saying it's not only in the world to come. God will begin to give you the reward from this planet to the world to come. Because whatsoever you reap, whatsoever you sow, you shall reap. That's what the Torah says. What goes round comes round. Right? Whatsoever you sow, that's what you shall reap. Because if we continue to have this idea that, okay, you know what? The reward is in the world to come. Oh no, what is in the world to come? Me, I don't know. I only have the faith that the world to come is going to be fantastic, right? Then people can continue to do whatsoever they want to do and say, okay, it is in the world to come. I can do evil. I don't care. Because as far as I don't reap the reward in this world, to me, it's fine. Whatever it is in the other place, I don't know. But most and everybody will begin to reap their reward in this world and to the world to come. I just want to give us a little bit of understanding from a rabbi that I know, Rabbi Padugoski. He explained more concerning this message Shelach Lecha. And this is what he said. He said, okay, from the end of last week, Parashat, with Miriam speaking Lashon Hara against our brother Moshe Rabbeinu, to the next week, Parashat, which we are going to talk about, Korah, his wife derailed up against her husband, objecting to Moshe's nepotism. We have a few other instances of how speech and communication impact and the receiver beyond our understanding. In this week's Parashat, a fierce battle rages between a teacher and the student. In Parashat Shelach Lecha, Bamidbar chapter 14, the Hebrew people cry and complain to Moshe after listening to the report of the 10 of the 12 men returning from Canaan, Canaan, that is from the land of Canaan. God is fed up with these people, with his people. Similar to the story of Ege Hazabahab, that means the golden calf. And tell Moshe he will wipe these people out, he will wipe them out, and build a bigger and better nation from him, that is, from Moshe Rabbeinu. Moshe replied to the Holy One, blessed be he, in Bamidbar chapter 14, verse 17. He said this, Va'ata yidda na kohash Adonai kashe de Va'ata lemor, which is telling us that, and now, O God, it is time for you to exercise even more restraint, because God is saying He's going to wipe them out. As you once declared that you are slow to anger, great in love, and forgiving of sin and rebellion. There, in three verses later, in Bamidbar chapter 14, verse 20, the Torah states, God said, I will grant forgiveness as you have requested. See, I said, whatever you say can be used for or against you in the court of law. You look at, after the process, after they send the spies, right, to go and check the land, what happened? They came out with a what? With Lashon Hara. They came back with evil report. Not even saying an evil report, they have no faith completely. They said those men are giants. Of course, yes, that is what they saw. They were in line. Remember, the men were great men. The Torah even took the time to list their name one by one. Remember, Torah can be Torah can summarize anything that I want to summarize in the short sentence. But Torah took its time to mention the name of these men. And the Torah said, these are men of renown, men of knowledge, men of war, men who does not fear. And these are the men that came back with Lashon Hara. These are men that came back with evil report, saying, yeah, we saw the giants. Of course, it is true, there were giants there. They were in line. They said what they saw. But there is a but there. That but of lack of faith. That this man will crush us and kill us. That we cannot defend ourselves. That we cannot possess the land. When God said, the land is yours. You see, God said, the land is yours. So this idea that Israel, the Hebrew people, they want God to give them the land in the plate of gold. They don't want to do nothing. They don't want to fold their hand and God will say, this is the land. And they can't just, I take it. No, it doesn't work that way. You have to work for the land. You see, you have to do your part. For the Holy One, blessed be He, to do His own part. They don't want to do no part. You know, remember last week we talked about slave mentality. That is the mentality of the slaves. They don't want to do nothing. They want to relax and the land be given to them free of charge. No, you have to do your own part. Then this man came back with what? With Lashon Hara, evil report. Oh, and the people panic. The people did what? They panic. He said, hey, God is not able to deliver us. He has brought us to this land to kill us, to kill our children, to kill our animals, to kill. But yesterday you said you want meat. So you remember your animal now, but you said you don't have meat to eat, but you have animal. You say, God, give us meat. Now you are remembering your animal. Can you see how the people behave? Right? Now they remember that, let us do what? Let us elect or choose a leader to take us back to Egypt. You see, nostalgia, as I said. They always want to go back to Egypt. Always. Because they don't know anything, only Egypt that they know. Let's go back to Egypt. Let's elect somebody. To, this Moshe is a liar. This Moshe, he has convinced us. He wants to kill us and destroy us. No, we are no longer listening to him. We need another leader to return us back to the sin, to destroy. So why did you cry to God that God should save you from Egypt? And now you want to return back. It's like a dog returning back to its vomit. So, we shall see what happened. And God was fed up with these people. God said, I'm going to wipe them out. I'm going to kill them. And I'm going to make a great nation from Moshe Rabbeinu. He's God. He can do whatever he wants. He's God. Right? But Moshe ran to God. He begins to beg. He said, God, remember what you said. Remember what you showed me, that you are a God of mercy, God of compassion, and God of love. Whatsoever you say shall be used for or against you in the court of law. Moshe now is remembering God, his own word. He said, well, God, remember what you said. No. This is not the way. This is not the path. Because if you destroy them, then what will the people say? What will the nation say? They will say, you brought them out of Egypt to consume them, to destroy them, to slay them. That you are a liar. That you are not able to bring them to the land. It's because you are not able to bring them to the land, that is why you kill them. You see? You see, a man, you see the way he's reasoning with God. A man. You see the way? Do you think that God does not know what Moshe will say? Actually, I was saying, he's telling us that God was actually using that to test Moshe, to see the result of Moshe. Right? Because Moshe has been saying to God every time, your people, your people, your people. Moshe never said my people. Moshe always said, God, this is your people. God, this is your people. God, you asked me to go and deliver them. God, you asked me to go and bring them out. I never want this job. You forced this job upon me. I was calm with my wife, with my sons, with my children in Midian. Until you forced me to go and take this job, I don't want this job. Right? And now, when God threatened to wipe them out, speak a spark in his brain. He said, no. These are my people. You see, that genetic code just spark out. No, you cannot do this, God. These are my people. If you kill them, what am I doing? Yeah, it's a shame on me that and you call me a prophet, and now what am I going to take the whole world? Right? You see the reasoning. He's replying God. He's using the word that God used to tell God back his own word. He said, God, remember you told me that you are compassionate. You are the Lord who forgive iniquity, who is compassionate, who is merciful. And now you have to be compassionate now. You have to be merciful now. You have to show restraint. You cannot wipe them out. You cannot kill them. There are three lessons that we can learn from what the Holy One, blessed be He, discussed with Moshe. Firstly, the first lesson is that in time of complete frustration and anger with someone else, we must overcome the deserved anger against the individual or group who, according to our opinion, was guilty, and forgive them. Secondly, it is the part whereby a teacher can listen and take advice from the student. Just as the Holy One, blessed be He, was listening to Moshe Rabbeinu and forgave the Hebrew people. Last and the least, it is the focusing in on the word that Adonai, the Holy One, blessed be He, himself said that He is a forgiving God. A word can have so much influence on the person and on the situation. The wording that Moshe crafted in defending the Hebrew people from being wiped out is the same language we use during the time we need forgiveness, particularly during Rosh Hashanah, during Yom Teruah, aka Rosh Hashanah, and Yom Kippur. The impact of the words that Adonai used to describe himself continue to be the source of our strength and the well in which the Hebrew people always fetch from in time of distress. The word that the Holy One, blessed be He, has spoken. This word that Moshe scratched out, that is the same word we always pray on Yom Teruah, that is aka Rosh Hashanah, and on Yom Kippurim. God, remember, you are the God of mercy, the God of love, the God that is compassionate, and the God that is gracious. Have mercy. Have mercy. We have sinned. We have done evil. We have disgraced you. We have done all kinds of lashon hara. But God, for the sake of your name, have mercy. And God will listen. And God will have mercy. You see, because that is what He said by His own mouth. That is the word of God by Himself. He said, I am God who is compassionate, who is merciful, and who is gracious. That is God. That's our God. So, and when we recognize, remember, we have as an individual have to recognize that. When we recognize our iniquity, when we recognize our sin, when we recognize our shortcoming, our shortcoming, we cry out in our anguish, in our soul, please have mercy on me. I have done wrong. I have not fulfilled your command. I have not fulfilled all the mitzvot. I have not even followed them. But now help me to do it. Help me to follow it. Help me to practice it, and He will help us. So this is what I'm saying. Remember, whatsoever you say can be used for or against you in the law court or in the court of law. But in the court of law of the Holy One, blessed be He, not the court law of a man. In the court law of the Holy One, blessed be He, He can use that for you to benefit you. And whatever you say can also be used in His court against you. If you say, if you are proud, if you have your ego, if you have your I, me, that can be used against you too. Because you are not sober. You don't want any changes. You don't want to improve your way of life. And then it can be used against you. But if you are sober, just like David Hamelech, he said, oh, I have sinned. He didn't say, God, blah, blah, blah. No, oh, I have sinned, period. And that's what God wants. I have sinned, have mercy on me, forgive me. I am not worthy of your mercy. I am not worthy of your grace. I am not worthy of your compassion. But for the sake of your word, have mercy. And the Holy One will have mercy because you sincerely, out of your heart, out of your soul, cry out for His love. Before we close, just to tell us a little bit of Midrash. In the Midrash Rabbah in Devarim chapter 3 verse 15, recounting the story of the spies, the Holy One ultimately forgave Israel Compare Moshe's argument with that of Abraham Avinu defending of Sodom. Remember when Sodom was about to be destroyed, right? God came to Abraham, right? And God told him, if you can find how many people? 50 people. I won't destroy, I won't destroy it. They look. He came back again, 40 people, no. He look, 30 people, no. He look, 20 people, no. He look, 10 people, oh, I can't even find. If you're one person, you can't even find. Oh, no. C'est fini. The whole country was wiped out. The same argument God brought to Moshe Rabbeinu. Okay, if you don't want me to destroy Israel, get me 80 people. Moshe was saying, please, I don't destroy them. Okay, you want me to destroy, how many people can you show me that I won't? Remember I said it's a what? It's a midrash. Okay, remember I'm saying after midrash now, okay? So Moshe Rabbeinu said, oh God, I can present you 80 people. I have 80 people. God said, okay, you want me to destroy them? Agree, 80 people. Show me these 80 people. Moshe Rabbeinu said, remember the 70 elders that you share from my wisdom, and you give them all the wisdom. God said, okay, 70 people, good, but it's 10 people. You don't have 10 people more. Then Moshe said, oh, I have Caleb, I have Joshua, I have Aaron, I have you mentioned 7 people. I said, okay, you mentioned 7 people. This is 77. Remain only 3. God said, oh, then Moshe, look. He said, God, on the merit of the father, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. I said, okay, 80 people, I forgive them. So he said, you can see, so we need to understand that you have to be smart. It's a game of chess. It's a game of chess, right? When you match the king or the what do you call it in chess? When you checkmate, thank you. When you checkmate the king or the queen, you say, oh, you are okay, this is it. So it's the same idea here. God is playing a chess game with Moshe. And Moshe has to reply back too. Has to begin to checkmate God too. Say, God, no. This is the idea. So we need to understand. Moshe was able to bring 80 people before God. And God said, okay, that is good. That is right. I forgive them. I cleanse them. I sanctify them. I will not destroy them again. And God forgave his people. So this is the idea. That we have to always remember God, his word. It's not that God forgot his own word. No. The understanding there is that we remember. It's not about God. That God, maybe God forgot his word. Let me remind him. No. It's because we remember his word. Saying, God, remember what you told me. I'm not doing this by myself because you commanded me. That's the idea. That you asked me to do this. And that's why I'm doing it. And God said, oh yeah, that is true. I told you to do that. Because God is going to always remember his word. It's not a forgetful God. He didn't forget that he said this, or he said that he needs you to remind him every time. No, but it's because that you are completely grounded. You have your foundation in his word, and you are using his word to pray back to him, saying, God, this is your word. Do this for me. This is what you told me. Do this for me. This is what you commanded me. Don't forget about me. So that is the idea that the Holy One is telling us. We cannot understand the word we use and to how they can be used later. A word or speech is very powerful regarding our mitzvot and how and what we say. The notion when someone is being read is right, of anything you say can or will be used against you in the court of law is taken very, very seriously in the world court, in the human court. But in the court of the Holy One, blessed be He, is even more serious. This is a lesson not to be forgotten. Not only how our bad word can be used against us later, but also how our kind and good words will also be there for us in the later days, in the later times to come. The word of the Torah leaves an everlasting impact on everyone who learn and share the beauty of the Torah. Who knows when the Holy One, blessed be He, said, I am a forgiving God, that those words will be remembered and have an impact to continue to make the difference in the Hebrew people's life until this very time. You see, the word that God said 3,000, 4,000 years ago on the mount. I am the God that forgives iniquity. I am the God who is compassionate. I am the God who is merciful. Now we still remember that word until this time. And whenever we come short, we cry unto him, God, the compassionate, the merciful, and the gracious, have mercy upon me. And God will have mercy. For that, because that is what he said, that is his own word, not my word. That what he spoke out of his own mouth. And when we ask him that, and when we tell him that, he remembers his word and he forgives us our iniquity. And remember, any time that we, the Hebrew people, are in need, any time that we are in want, we go before him. It is our well. You know the well? The well, that is the living well, where we draw hope, where we draw mercy and compassion. God, you told our forefathers, you told us, you tell me, this is your word, and he will have mercy upon us. Parashat, Lecha. And I said, whatsoever you say, or whatever you say can be used for or against you in the court of law. Shabbat shalom.